Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? You look good. My name is Andre Bunley. I'm the director of the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement, and we want to welcome you to the open house of what we call our repetition center. But we call it a repetition center because we know whatever it is we do most, that's what we do best. Fortunately, for those of us who are doing really, really well, we've done the good things over and over and over, and we've gotten good at it. For those of us who are doing bad things well, we've done those things over and over and over, and we do those things not so well. But we do them well, but we don't do them well, because we do them over and over and over. The Repetition Center is about connecting individuals right there where they are. And so we have a process where we have what we call fishermen of this process. And what we do is wherever individuals are, that's where we meet them. All right? And so if they right there on the street corner, that's where we meet them. If they are coming home from prison, hopefully before they release, that's where we meet them. Right? Because we want to make certain that we get people connected to what is going on. This particular room right here, this is our work readiness section. So we want individuals say it to us all the time, man, I want a job. And so what we've learned is that individuals want a job in their heart, but really they're not ready for a job because you just can't go from not working to working and don't know what it takes to be prepared to work. And so that's what this center is about. But this center and all that you see here tonight has happened because of all of the team. We have a team, but Tracy Estep, standing to my left, is the manager of the Repetition Center. And so Tracy, for the last couple of weeks, Porky, have called the shots, right? And she told us and gave us our instructions, and we followed our instructions. But before I have Tracy share a few words, I just want you to know we have the chief of all of the staff of Baltimore City here with us tonight. And I'm gonna have him say a few words. And we also have our council person here, Sharon Green Middleton, who has done a great job and continues to do a great job. And she says to me when she would come through City Hall, Mr. Williams, how we doing? When we opening up? I said, we're on our way. Folk have been asking, when we gonna open up? Well, we're here tonight. And so without further ado, I wanna ask Ms. Estep to share in her very own special way, and then call Mr. Williams and the council person so that they could share a few words. And our mayor is on her way, but we'll be in the mode of the process by the time that she comes, because we want this to be a fluid process and that we just want to show what we're going to do. And by the way, we'll be talking about recruiting. You have Big Maurice back there in the back. If you want to be a part of the fisherman team, we have a training process. If you want to be a part of our speaker series to speak to our young people in school, we have that process. If you want to be a part of the Connect meetings that we're going to have all around the city, I see Reverend Marvin McKinstry. He's one of our speakers on tap. Probably our fourth Connect meeting, but we're doing that all across the city. I see Abdul and Muhammad from Keys and all of you. I see all of you. We have so much stuff, but we're getting ready to do something that's never been done, right? We're going to our people in the city, particularly black men in this city, and then all the other men that we find in the process, right? Because we're human beings. We're going right there where they are, and we're going to show them two things. We're going to show them strength, because that's what we are. We're strong, right? And we're going to show them love, because that's what's in our heart, that we have love in our heart, right? And so without further ado, Ms. Estep.
Good evening, everyone. So I am so excited to welcome you all to the Repetition Center, but we're calling it our Connection to Success Center. This center is going to serve African American males of all ages through job readiness, health and wellness, mental health, substance abuse, and anything that our African American males need to go on a pathway of success and to know that there is hope and there are people who care and people that are coming for them. Because their time is now, our time is now. It's time for collaborative action. It's time for us to get together, and it's time for us to put our boys and our men on the right pathway. Tonight, in this open house, what you'll see is we are going to have sessions through life skills, cultural competency skills. We're going to have health and wellness sessions. And in this room tonight, we're going to have job readiness. We're going to give our African American males everything they need to be successful and put them on the trajectory to the right pathways for life. Our mayor has a goal to reduce crime, and through our programs, we can reduce crime in our city because we're going to give our boys and our men hope. Now, while our programs are intentional, we are not exclusive. So we're going to serve anybody that comes through our door. Anybody that comes through our door, man, woman, boy, or girl, in any gender and any race. But our goal is to serve our African American males. The MOAAME team have 7 pathways that we're working in, and we are going to work with our partners, our city agencies, community organizations, and we're just going to do the best we can to give everyone hope. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate you all.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Williams, and I'm the mayor's chief of staff. And thank you for a big turnout. This is we're really impressed with you coming out tonight. So let me tell you the emphasis on African American male engagement is to be a holistic approach. So what we want to do is to talk to people, let you know we care about you, provide any education you need to succeed in life. We want to get you the support system. So we just don't want to say, well, here's a job. We want to get you ready for a job. You know, soft skills, how it takes to collaborate with people, how to do a resume, how to be successful in an interview. We want to do all of those things. We want to get you some help. If you need social services or you need a place to stay, we have all the agencies in the city. We want to make sure we provide that for you. If you need access to clothing and that kind of thing, we want to make sure that you get that as well. And then we want to do something else. We want to educate as well. So if you don't have a high school degree and you want a GED, we want to set you on a path to get that. If you want a further education, and we'd like to get you enrolled in BCCC. So the mayor said that anybody in Baltimore that has a high school degree, that finished in high school, you can go there for free, and we'd like to be able to provide that for you. If you need jobs in the city, we have a number of openings, especially if you like to drive, CDL jobs. We have those. We're going to train you to get the license, and then we will employ you to do that. So we're looking at this holistic. Any support you need, you know, Doc is here, Tracy's here, I'm available, the mayor's available to make sure that you have a complete support system so that you can be successful. If you need help, if you have some health issues, we'd like to help you with that. We're screening people. If you just have some emotional things or things that you're going through, we have a partner, Keys, to help you to assess that your readiness for that, to make sure that we counsel, that you get coaching, so that you can get through anything that you might have some issues with. And as I look, and finally, I'd like to say this, I kind of, I'm the chief of staff, went to college and all of that, but when I see black men, I see myself, and I just, my path to school was I played football, and that was my way out of my neighborhood. And I went and did that, and I tried to do that well and try to take advantage of the opportunity. And so I would leave you with this thought. I don't believe in luck. What I believe opportunity is when you prepare, and that's the boulevard of opportunity. And when the two of those meet, that's luck, because you're prepared to have a job. You're prepared to have a future. You're prepared to make yourself and take care of you and your family. And that's what we want to do in this center. So, thank you. I really thank you for coming out. You will see as we move forward, this center is real. We've invested in this. And all we need you to do is to participate and be successful. And I think this thing will be outstanding. And we'll use this as a model to replicate all over the city. Okay? So thank you very much.
Tomorrow at Barnes we're having a expungement clinic.
Right.
Because you can't get a job if you got a record.
Right.
So please make an announcement that everybody that needs a record expunged can come from 5 to 8 tomorrow, 26 North Fulton Street, from 5 to 8 and get their record expunged.
Good evening, good evening. First, let's all of us give ourselves a round of applause, because this, And then secondly, I want to thank Dr. Andre Bunley and Tracy Estep and your team. You have been working tirelessly for at least 5-6 months or longer. And I have been seeing you working, looking for a place to start this wonderful mission here that the city has been yearning for basically forever. The Office of African American Male Engagement. Just the name alone shows the need of what we have been yearning for forever in this city. And I am so appreciative that the opening of this is starting in Park Heights. There's so many things that are happening here in Park Heights. It would take a good hour or more to at least talk about, but you're putting the feet on the streets and going to the people, and that's the piece that has been missing, that we have been needing for so long. So believe me, I am so appreciative. You have faith base here. You have the Muslim community here that do wonderful things in helping in our communities. We have, and to have this setting right here in Park Heights, we have a new school that's coming to play. We have a library. Jobs are going to be available. And this team they have been already on the streets trying to get the partnerships to start to do the work. And the core people that have come here today, I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I'm speaking for the community. Everywhere I go, at least within the 6th District, I have been talking about this office, and what's to begin here and will continue is just so important to this city. Another important thing, keep your eye on what's and I gotta mention it, keep your eye on what's happening with the racetrack and the Preakness, and we need that to stay. And we need you all to come down on Friday in Annapolis. This is not just about Park Heights. This is about this entire city. Believe me, there's a lot of things into play in what's happening. And we have to have a voice, and there are going to be, I think there's like 10, 15 buses that are going to be leaving here. I think you should contact, I think George Mitchell is going to be here, but he's one of the contacts at the Langston Hughes Community Center. And speaking of that center, that's another partnership here. So good things are happening, and it's about time for us to all be working together. This is another avenue that shows that we can work together and help the young males, all the males that are on our streets suffering and struggling. Some of us in here have had success and mentors to help us. There are people out there suffering, people out there that are hungry, looking for jobs, but there's a dysfunctional family structure going on. There's lots of things into play. And again, I can't reiterate enough how I know within this Park Heights community that the faith-based people are coming together, businesses are coming together, the people in general are starting to come together. The community association leaders are coming together. And these are things that are happening not just in Park Heights, it's happening around the city. And I do want to give credit to our Mayor Pugh that have really kicked off this initiative. She's kicked off a lot of initiatives, things. We have the Women's Commission that in this office can be connected with that as well. We can't definitely leave out our women and and the family and our family structure. And that commission, I'm going to make sure, is a part of what's going on here as well.
I'm going to introduce that in a minute.
Thank you so much. But lastly, I had to bring a special citation. I do serve. Besides representing the 6th District, I serve as Vice President of the Council, and I do have a special 6th District honorary certificate here for you by the Council President and, of course, all members. And basically, it's for the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement in recognition of your open house and dedication to bring awareness, access, and accountability to African American males in Baltimore City. Signed by yours truly, Vice President Sharon Green Middleton, and best wishes from myself again, Council President Young, and all members.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Big smiles. Anything? Very nice.
You know, I just thank you so much. Let me just say very quickly, because I'm excited when we started to move and Tracy made certain, she said, Doc, I finally was able to nail down the standing meeting with Safe Streets and Dedra. And so I was just so excited because they were doing and are doing great work in Park Heights. And so what we have to do, we are required to collaborate. It's just a common sense thing to do. And so I just want to introduce and just say, Dedra, if you would just stand up and say hi. If you want to say a few words, please feel free to come up and say a few words, because folk, we have to collaborate.
Yes.
We can't do this alone. We have to learn to collaborate and work together, and there's no big I and little you. It's just us. It's just us doing this work. So Dedra, I just thank you for your leadership, and please, share a few words with the people.
Thank you. I come from the school of thought where you have to be ready in season and out of season, and Dr. Bunley didn't give me a heads up, so I can only do what I do, and that's to speak from my heart space. I have the honor of shepherding Safe Streets Baltimore, but in doing that, I have the honor of representing each and every one of you in this room every day. And I count it an honor because but for the grace of God, there go I. I'm delighted to be able to stand in partnership with the Mayor's Office on African American Male Engagement in representation of our partnership with Safe Streets Baltimore to restore us, our communities, our children, our mothers, our fathers, our sisters and brothers to our rightful place of wholeness. And we get to do that demonstratively. It's not based on what we do. It's based on who we are and how we show up in the fullness and the authenticity of who we are and bringing our skill sets to bear. Our gifts make room for us. And if we understand that we are the collective, there's no competition. If they win, we win. If we win, you win. We all win. There's no them, no they. It's only us. We do this work selfishly because it supports our overall health and well-being. I'm happy for the Mayor's Office on African American Male Engagement, happy to be able to stand here in partnership, and am committed to moving this work forward, willing to be courageous and vulnerable, because I got my own story. I didn't just arrive in this place today. It's been a trajectory. I've lived through my own bad decisions, but I'm still standing. And because I'm standing, it gives us room to make room for somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And so I just want to acknowledge Jeffrey Shorter, because we're going to get NCIA to kind of share where we are and where we are in terms of this whole process of job. But with the Baltimore City Police Department was in the midst of young people not too long ago, the other day, and just what he exudes is just the love for our young people, and they respond to him. And so that is what we have to have exhibited from our police department all over the city. And we have new leadership under new commissioner, and I feel him, right? And so I think he's going to do a good job. So I just want to acknowledge you, Jeffrey. And with that being said, I saw Walter. You all want to come up and do what you need to do to kind of share and move around. And we'll pause when the mayor comes to and have her do what she does so very, very well. So Walter from NC, what is it, IA?
Yes.
All right, Brother Walter.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We had everything laid out for you right now, and I represent the Herbert J. Holter Vocational Training Center. We're located right on the cusp of Little Italy and Fells Point in downtown Baltimore, Central Avenue, Central and Gulf. Our center opened up in 2017. Actually, 9/11 was our first day. What we offer is vocational training. And we offer vocational training in 3 modules: automotive mechanics, CDLB licensing, and HVAC. Each of our trainings is accompanied with nationally recognized certifications. And that's a pathway to employment with a skill. Our courses are they're very intense. They're crash course. There's 13 weeks to each course. Your HVAC will have you a universal certification. That's a 608 recovery recycle universal certification that's comprised of 4 parts: a core, a type 1, a type 2, and a type 3. That universal certification gives you a nationally recognized certification that will allow you to have viable employment opportunities. Okay? Now what we did, we came here and we brought videos, but the creator has some other plans in mind. Because the video has no audio. But it wasn't meant for us to sit here and watch videos. But we are going to watch it. The entire NCIA team is here. I'm going to introduce you to them. At the same time, we're going to play that video because, trust me, we know this video inside out. So as you're watching the video with no audio, we're going to narrate to you what's taking place. Okay? And we're not going to embellish, because we're not here to embellish, but we know exactly, because what you actually aren't going to hear is what the students have to say. But it wasn't meant to be today. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to our Director of Operations, Mr. Buffett. Our Vice President of Development, Mr. Earl Elamine. Our Consultant for Workforce Engagement, Mr. Mike Palumbo. Our Executive Administrative Assistant to the Director, Ms. Paulette Wheeler. And our Administrative Assistant, Mr. Torrey Thomas. And also, I'd like to let you know that Torrey Thomas was actually graduate from our school. Right. And now he's working for us. And these guys are not going to get off easy, because they're going to help me. Oh, yes. Yes, they are, Earl. They're going to help me so you can tell, we can explain to you what it is that we do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Mr. Earl Elamine come up while I get this video ready. Thank you, Earl. Right.
Want to stand here?
No, I can just stand right here. I'm not going to be here 30 seconds. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you. I've been with NCIA. I started in 1987. I left in 1990. I came back in 2006. Been with them a long time. We've been in existence for the last 42 years. We're just an extension. I'm the vice president of the whole organization, which includes 700 employees. We do a myriad of things. We have a level 5 non-public school. We do residential services and for developmentally disabled adults. We also do criminal justice services, sentencing consultation, and we also do a day programming with supportive employment. Did I miss anything, Walter?
No, you didn't.
So with that being said, are you ready?
No, we're waiting for John. He has to password us into his laptop.
Oh, okay. You ready, John? With that being said, I'd like to start this by saying what I told my sons many, many years ago, and that is, you never know who you really are until you experience who you really are not. I'll leave you with that.
Thank you. Let's give Mr. Elamine a hand. Mr. Billups, who's up next, sir?
Mr. Buford. Come on up, Mr. Buford. Okay, and then we can simultaneously, I'll be running it, and we can do some narration of what you guys.
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay in the back? First and foremost, I want to say a very heartfelt thank you to all of the young African-American men that have taken time to step out here today. What most of you don't realize in your shoes is that we've all had to walk a path to get where we are today, and you can't see it, but our heart's heart is why we're here today, is to see you successful. You heard Walter mention that Torrey just came on board as an intake specialist at inside of the organization. Nothing gives us greater pride to know that a process actually has an outcome that we can actually put some feet to. So that is what this is about. I'm new to the NCIA team by about 3 weeks now. Yeah. 3 weeks. This team took about a year and a half to vet me organizationally to ensure I was the right fit for the work that they were doing. And I was blown away how this organization was able to put vocational training in a space where nobody thought it should be and produce the outcomes over the short period of time. And now here we are going and growing. So make no mistake about this. We are engaged. We are thankful that we are part of this initiative, just to be a small piece. And sister, I can't tell you, what you said inspired me in the sense that knowing that our women have our back is what has made us as strong as we are today. So that means more than you know for me to hear that, because we need to hear it every now and then. While as strong as we are and as tough as we are, and we're going to get you over the finish line, man. We're going to get you there. But boy, we know that they're behind every strong black man, right? So that being said, Walter, if we are all set, we can begin the video and we can begin to narrate. So I'll let you begin and I'll jump in with you.
Yes, everybody, Earl, you're going to jump in too. Obviously, this is the Herbert J. Holter Vocational Training Center. It's located right on the corner of Central and Gulf. This is one of our veterans. One of our veterans, Mr. Gregory Rich, he came in and he joined into the CDL class. Now, what he's really saying is that we have made this environment very returning citizen and veteran friendly. So when he first came in, we were acknowledging our veterans. We were acknowledging everybody that has served our country, every division, and we had pictures. And these are not embellished pictures. These are pictures that actually were taken by servicemen that were at these locations. And that really made him feel good. He's told us he really felt at home. You know, this guy was homeless, didn't have a door key, didn't know where he was going to get his next meal from when he came to us. And right now, this guy's actually working for, I think, Charm City, who they deliver the bikes that we rent. And he rides around and he picks the bikes up. He has a home. He's back with his wife. So life changes have taken place. And this is just showing another veteran. He's actually from McVets. Mr. Buford didn't acknowledge that at first. He was with McVets. And if you're familiar with McVets, it's an organization that services homeless veterans. Okay, Mr. Tony Allen. Mr. Tony Allen had all kind of issues. And I'm not sticking my chest out because really I have to thank Earl. This guy had $5,000 in back taxes. Earl does what he does. He called somebody he knew at the controller's office. He said, look, I'm a veteran. The controller said, I'm a veteran. Send these guys down to me and I'm going to work out a program for them. And what he worked out is that this guy had $5,000 worth of taxes waived until he could get a job and set up a payment plan. Mr. Kenneth Nunez, he was, speak to him before, you really know Nunez.
So he was one of our veterans that was at the Maryland Center for Veterans Education and Training, had come out of homelessness into the program and needed vocational training. So through programming that we partnered with, we were able to get him vocational training, get trained, and as a result of his performance at the center, he was then hired organizationally. And he now works within the organization, making a very, very good salary, has him a brand new car, and by what we saw at graduation, 2 or 3 brand new girlfriends. We're talking to him about that. But he's doing well and he's back re-engaged. And what you'll see as you kind of go through, you'll see our CEO, and co-founder, Mr. Herbert J. Holter. But what you need to know about our process is that it's very, very deliberate. Every person that you see touches that person, that homeless veteran, that returning citizen when they come through the door, from intake to workforce readiness to the vice president of the organization. They touch each one of these, and we know their stories. So Mr. Nunez is here working in the automotive mechanics area, and you see one of our mechanics there, the lead mechanic, Zeke, teaching him the ins and outs. And so Mr. Holter here is just talking about his commitment to what it is. So you kind of get narrations of what their experience has been as they've come through our process. But what you really need to see here, and that's actually our CFO and our executive director of the center, Mr. Antonino, in the background, each one of us will put our hands on each one of these individuals because it's none of our stories, it's theirs, and each one of us has some skin in this game. So just know that as we get engaged and you get pamphlets and you have questions about what we're doing in the process, just know that from the CEO and co-founder all the way down to the person that's going to be taking out the trash, somebody's going to touch that individual and they'll know. So, Walter, we ran out of video?
No, well, that video was over. I'm going to our next video.
So again, we'll cover the 3 vocations that we cover: CDL Class B. We've got HVAC, that's heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration, so HVACR. And then we also have automotive technology. Now we are about to jump into the next phase of launching our next vocational training, and that is unmanned aerial systems, also known as drone training. So we are on the cusp of launching our first training, and if I had told you 5 years ago that you could take somebody, put them in your personal car, get paid for it through an app on your phone, you'd have laughed at me and said it'll never work. And here we are 5 years later, and you've got Lyft, you've got Uber, and you've got everybody else, and they're about to be on the stock exchange, right? So now we're on the cusp of what drone training looks like and what that job market looks like, and we're super excited about being ready to launch that next program. And Walter, I'm going to let you, unless we can get Mike or Paulette up here to narrate next, because we're going to do this as a round table. And I see some heads shaking notes. So Walter, I'm going to let you step up, and I'll help you.
Well, what we're experiencing now is our graduation. This graduation graduated close to 72 individuals. Our executive director is acknowledging, and he's sending out thanks for everyone that participated. And our celebrations, we invite everyone, family members, friends, everyone is invited to the graduation, because everyone is successful as a part of this graduation. So Gary is acknowledging certain individuals, because we have individuals that have come to our program. Right now, we have an individual that came in and he took our CDL. He took our CDL program. He was one of the best students, and right now he's actually working under our CDL instructor. So he's actually instructing other participants to do exactly what he did: come in and get themselves a CDL-B license. And what I can tell you about what you heard that they talked about right here, my man talked about the CDLs. We can't fill all the positions that are available for commercial drivers. And we have a program where you come in. We have individuals that come from VOA. We do returning citizens also. Right now, we're servicing 68 individuals from VOA, from Federal Halfway House. We have individuals that come in that did not even have a Maryland State driver's license, never had a license. And now, within 14 to 15 weeks, they have a commercial Class B driver's license, and they have job offers starting from $15.50 up to $26.25, and that's entry-level positions. And right now, you know, of course, there's a lot of verbiage taking place. Gary is recognizing our individuals. As you can see, we have a full house. We also like to post our individuals' achievements on the wall so they can visually see the changes that they're making in their life. And what I know for sure, no organization is perfect, not even ours. But I know for a fact that we are helping change some lives. I'm talking guys that have come into our administrative office and they'll never look at you. They're looking at the ground. And now when they come in, they're looking straight at you with a smile, with a job. Their self-esteem, their self-worth has been restored. And these guys are on their way to making things happen. And it's not just benefiting them. It benefits their family. It benefits the entire community. It benefits, and to be truthful, the community that we're in has pretty much supported us. We have support from the community. We make sure that our individuals, we have a code of conduct that you have to follow, because there are certain things that you have to be in line with in order to participate. So there's no loitering. Obviously, there's no drugs or alcohol allowed into our center, no weapons. And to be truthful, we started on 2017, and we've only had one verbal altercation since we've been there, and we've had over 200 individuals come through the center. And now I come from a crisis management background. I was the director for Career Development Center for Intellectually Disabled Adults. My whole life consists of crisis management on a daily basis. So when I came in with the population, I'm like, okay, I know what we're going. We haven't had not one incident. Not one incident. And to be truthful, our most focused individuals have been our returning citizens. It's been our returning citizens. I got returning citizens who come, and we kind of, if you put a little of our cultural communication in, we keep it 100 with them. We say, put it on the table, man. What are your issues? Because we are you. We're here to help you with those issues. But we need to know what they are so we can give you the help that's needed. And individuals are starting to really, rapport to us is everything. Rapport is everything, because these individuals start to develop a certain amount of trust. They believe that we're going to support them, and it helps motivate them to continue to do the right thing. And that's what's been occurring. That's what's been occurring. And as Buford said, we're constantly looking for new ideas, for new input. You know, you call it green lighting. Anything you discuss, anything, you green light it on the table. Because we're looking to expand. We're looking to do better. We have pre, post, and midway evaluations. We want to know how can we do better. You know, what are the deficiencies that we need to work on? We want constructive criticism because we're dealing with human lives. You know, NCIA is a nonprofit organization. Human services is what we do. And that's what's taking place at our center. Anybody at any time is welcome to come and tour our facility. The door is always open. Once an individual joins and is accepted into our program, he's always accepted. You come in, she too. That's absolutely true. And thank you, Earl. Absolutely. What means is you come in, something happened, you couldn't finish the course. You got a personal issue. You discuss that issue with us. Once you resolve that issue, you come back and we let you pick right up where you started from. Yes, sure, absolutely.
So as you heard Walter describe that, I thought it real important to mention this. Here's what you can expect when you come through the door. There is an application for everything. There's a personality for everything. Walter has a human services background. I do not. I have a military background. My background comes from the United States Army. 4 years of high school ROTC, 4 years of college ROTC, went right into the Army, right? Spent all of my time doing this. So when I come through the door, all I do is this. You will this, you should that. Class starts at 0900. At 090001, you are late. The door's closed and it's locked. And they say, man, Mr. Buford is, and then they get to talk to Walter. And Walter says, yeah, I know, Mr. Buford can get to be kind of tough. You know, and when Walter gets tired, he go right over and Earl and say, listen, I know that sometimes I have to put my hands on you, but keep working, soldiering through. And if all of that doesn't work, then they go cry on Miss Pollyette's shoulder, because that's a nice woman's shoulder to cry on. But at the end of the day, they know that there's a village there to wrap their arms around them, right? By the time that they have to talk to Earl, they know that they need some guidance, right? They're talking to Walter because Walter is the father figure. He's going to guide them through everything. Nobody ever comes to me and tells me they need me to hug them, ever. Never get that. But we have our own purpose, right? So some of them need the structure, so they gravitate towards it, and they're successful. Some of them need to be understood and understand how to navigate them, help them walk through this path. Everybody has their role, and we support each other in that for the outcome. So just know that we all are purposeful in how we touch the young people that come through the door, the middle-aged people that come through the door, the old people that come through our door. And I count myself as old. I'm turning 50 here in a couple of weeks, y'all. It's going to be bad for me or good for me, right? So just know that we're purposeful in how we touch them.
And that's very important, because we have the different personalities to make the whole.
Yes.
So there's no one that could come in that somebody on our management team hasn't had that experience. Personally, I'm a returning citizen myself. You know, fortunately, I was able to navigate through that minefield, go back to school, get a master's degree in human services, but I come from Baltimore. You know, and I was blessed to make it through that minefield, and I made mistakes that I had to pay for, you know, so I can relate to the people that we're serving. You know, I'm no better than them. I tell them, look, just because our office happens to be on a floor where you got to take some steps to, but we all are right here together. We're all right here together. Now, obviously, we're responsible for this center, and at the end of the day, it is a business in order for us to keep our doors open. But there's many individuals that have come to our center that didn't have any funding, and we allowed them to stay. Now, don't go spreading that word out there, because we can't do it for all, but all I can tell you is there's individuals that have come to our center, and we did not ask them to leave, and we let them complete. We actually got a couple of them in there right now today. Because for me, in any way, it's a business, but it's more so our passion to help people. That's our passion to help people. And again, still what we're looking at is we have different speakers that come. We have the lieutenant governor that came down and spoke to us. Kelly Schultz have came and spoke at our, a few councilmen. And that's okay. It's not as important. The fact is that we truly are trying to be what we say we are about. And that's to try to change lives. And that's basically what we're doing. This is a young gentleman. I think he's a veteran that came down from DC to speak to our graduates. Nobody that has come through our door that hasn't received a viable employment opportunity. Is everybody getting a job? Absolutely not. Because we do have some individuals that are coming to our center that really don't want a job. And once we interview them, they'll tell us they want a job, but when they graduate, I didn't really want a job, man. I just wanted to get another training. There's nothing we can do about that. We can do our assessments, which is a panel assessment, and that's basically our requirements are you don't have to have a high school diploma. Of course, you can have a background. If you have a drug issue, tell us about it, because we need to refer you someplace to get yourself together. Then you can come back to us. You know, obviously, loud is a major issue with a lot of our participants. If you don't know what loud is, old school, reefer, weed, whatever you want to call it, you know, those are issues that come with our population. But we let them know, look, you got 30 to 45 days to clean up, because we're not going to be able to get you a job. But if we shut the door to them in the beginning, then our classes may be empty, because that's a major issue throughout our city, and that's the issue that we have to acknowledge. But a high percentage of them tell us the truth. Yes, I am smoking, but I got time to clean up? Absolutely, because in order for us to get you a job, you have to clean up. And we have a percentage of them that don't, but we have a percentage that do. And we have more doing the right thing than we have doing the wrong thing, you know? Okay, that's Mr. Trockey, CDL graduate, actually instructing one of our CDL classes right now today. Now, don't mean to acknowledge his personal business. Mr. Trockey was homeless, living at Helping Up Mission. Helping Up Mission. Had no home, no door key, no meal. Living in the Helping Up Mission, had to pay $3 a day to be able to have a place to sleep. Now he has a car, he has a new apartment, and he's an instructor working for us with a good job, with benefits, probably making about $30,000, $35,000 a year. Unfortunately, he just got a brand new car, and his apartment, he's moving in within the end of the week or end of the month, and he parked this brand new car that actually someone donated to us. People donate cars to us, and we make sure that those cars are given to our participants. So Mr. Trockey just got a brand new car in very good condition, parked it outside the Helping Up Mission just this weekend, and the kids came with bricks and broke all his windows out. But we told Trockey, keep moving forward, brother. You got insurance. Don't let this blow you out the water. Call your insurance, make your claim, keep moving forward. You can't do anything about the past. Nobody in here can. Nobody. It's done. It's over with. It's time to move forward. That's the kind of advice we gave Mr. Trockey. And he's still struggling. He's still struggling, but he comes to class. He doesn't miss, and he now is still understanding the importance of moving forward.
So one of the things I'd like to say about that is that if you've never had the windows busted out of your car, boy, that is so depressing. That is so depressing. And when you get through that, you quickly recognize that it wasn't the end of the world, right? But I got a quick question for y'all. How many people worked today, all day? all day, meetings after meeting, and you was talking to some folks, and you had to get done with that and get to the next one. And yet you are still here, right? You made that time to get here, the mayor's office. I can't imagine what you have to go through on a daily basis as chief of staff at the mayor's office. I can't imagine, right? But you're still here. God bless you. Councilwoman, right? Oh my God, right? So after everybody wants to talk to you, there's nobody that does not want to talk to you, right? So after that, you're here. And each one of you worked today and still had time to show out today. But I say that to talk about the people that are really engaged in the work. They're here, right? In spite of all of that, I promise you, I put on this suit early this morning and all these meetings, but we had to be here, right? And what we're talking about is bigger than just opportunities. It's how we actually get through it, because for all of us that have kind of eclipsed that 35, I'm gonna say 35, that 35 moving towards 40, we've had our time to push and thrive and want to be successful, but now we're training our young people, right? And I'm telling you, the mayor's office of African American male engagement, I promise you, that is phenomenal. I'm new to Baltimore by about 3.5 years, and I've been all around the country, lived in about 9 states and been all around the world, actually. I promise you, having an initiative that's geared towards you, young black male, is phenomenal. Take full advantage of this. People that are engaged in supporting the process, take full advantage of it, because it's not everywhere that does it. So be actively engaged and know that when you come through our doors, we only have a small slice, right? We've got vocational training that we offer and supportive services. You heard people talk about soft skills trainings, job readiness trainings, all of those. We provide some of those things as well, but it's a small slice. Community and village. Every one of us that are partners in this, we are constantly and consistently referring, right? Because when you need a hug, I promise you, I don't have any to give. So I'm going to be pushing that out. So again.
I just want to say, and I want the mayor to bring you greetings and just share a few words. But one of the things that she has charged us to do emphatically is connect with people where they are. You know, when the mayor's down in 21217, she's often telling her security team when she goes home, she says, let's ride through certain neighborhoods. One of her favorite places, and though she moves through East Baltimore, north and south and west, one of her favorite routes is to go through Pennsylvania Avenue at a certain time at night. And I guess her security team thinks that she just wants to ride through, but she says, pull over. And then when they pull over, she says, let me get out. And when she gets out, individuals start coming around, and the security team, she said, that's okay, everybody's good. And so she's just on the corner kicking it, right, with the people, right? And so this whole process, she said, you know, Andre, when we started out, and this is Mission 186, and she brought us in and she said, Andre, I understand Mission 186. I love Mission 186, right? She said, but I just want to make sure people understand what we're trying to do. So we're going to whittle this Mission 186 down, and we're going to whittle it down to connect. I just want us to connect with the people right there where they are. And of course, I was defiant. No, I wasn't. And so as Tracy said earlier, this is about connect. And so the seed funding for this process comes from the mayor's office. This is the mayor's office of African American Male Engagement. And so, yes, and you've heard tonight the mayor says that, listen, we have the Women's Commission, and that's everybody's involved. We have the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement. I want everybody to know, while I am very intentional on working with African American males in this city, I'm not exclusive, so we'll work with everybody. And so as a matter of fact, I just had a meeting where we're talking about a support commission for all males in Baltimore. And so I just want the mayor to come and just kind of, she can share her heart better than I can because it's her heart. Mayor Catherine E. Pugh.
First, let me say thank you all for being here and giving honor and praise. Let me just also remind you all how important this is. Because when I first became mayor, one of the first things out of my mouth was that I can't do this work by myself. Reducing violence is the #1 priority in this city because it inflicts the quality of life for all of us, all of us.
If we don't get this right, then everybody feels in despair. And so we got to get this right. And so when we created the African American Male Engagement Office, I was looking all around the country. I tell people I'm a person of best practices. You know, looking around the country seeing what other people are doing. And nobody's really doing it like we're going to be doing it, because we're going to be the example that everybody's going to be looking at. Okay? Because it was a similar type office, and now they're down here trying to figure out how we're doing what we're doing. I'm looking for a job. But our focus is on how we engage everyone in our community. And how we interact with African American males, I believe, will chart the destiny for our city. And I say that because we're in every form, shape, characteristic in this city. We are the most incarcerated in this city. So, you know, in the nation, to be honest with you, percentage-wise. And so it is difficult for many of us coming out of those institutions to get back into the community. But we're obligated to make sure that folks can do that. You know, I tell people that when I was a state senator, you know, one of the things I focused on was how to create opportunities for African American males coming out of the institution. Everything from, and I'll never forget, a man saying to me when I was campaigning to be state senator, and I walked up to his business and I asked him if I could put a sign on it, and he said, wait a minute, I gotta go get my boss. His boss comes out and he says to me, do you remember me? And I'm at the stage now where I'd say, no, I don't. You know, so he said, you were my graduation speaker. Wow. And I'm thinking high school or college, and he said, no, when I was in prison. Wow. He said, but I never forgot what you said. And he said, this is what you said, madam. He said, you said, congratulations, guys, you're getting your GED, but let me tell you, you got a hard road to toe. But let me make a suggestion. If anybody here has the capacity or capability to start a business, do so. Because nobody walks into anybody's business and says, what's your background? What they care about is the quality of your service. Do good service. He said, that was me 5 years ago. This is one business. And when you get through, I want you to put your sign here, but I want you to go across town and put a sign on my other business. I didn't have to go across town because I was campaigning in the 40th district, okay? And I won. I say that to say to you all that my heart is with the people. And not only did we do that legislation, okay, and so from that I created legislation to help men coming out of the institution, women coming out of the institution to create their own business. And Stanley Tucker, a former incarcerated individual, will tell you we're pushing through with that program. The same thing, when people pay their debt to society, we ought to allow them to come back into our communities and be productive members. Taking away people's food stamps, taking away housing opportunities is just wrong. You know, we had people who were coming out of institutions with, couldn't even get their medication, so I passed legislation requiring the state to provide 45 days of medication when they left the institution, and required them to give them their identification. You take it when folks go in, you don't, and you ought to give it when they leave out. The fact of the matter is that a large percentage of those individuals come back to our communities. The reason I walk the streets of our city, I just came from a prayer walk. The reason I walk the streets of our city is because I need to feel the heart of the people. When we create a call to action, it's because I needed to hear from individuals, what can we do differently from what has been done, because the city has been neglected for decades. And if you don't believe it, look in every corner of these neighborhoods and communities. There's no reason to have these many boarded up houses in our city. I don't know how they got there, but here's what I know. I have a commitment to change it. And that's why when I walked in City Hall and they said, hey, you know, we got a deal. It's been on the table for years. We need you to sell off garages. You know about that, Sharon Middleton. Mm-hmm. And I said, absolutely not, because in 1972, y'all sold off the airport for $36 million. Now, it might have sounded like a good deal 40 years ago, but can you imagine owning the airport today, what it would mean to Baltimore? It would be to Baltimore what airport is to Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't sell off garages, okay? But what we did do is we leased them. You know, it's like if you own a house and you lease it to somebody else, you still derive the income. Well, we still derive the income off of those garages. We leased 3 of them to the state. But because we still owned them, I was able to capitalize and raise $80 million, paid off all the debt on all 3 of those, and then put $52 million into a neighborhood investment fund so that we can partner with Marcus to do the development that needs to take place in Park Heights. We cleared 16 acres of land. And we're going to bring about the change that people need to see. But in all of that, we've got to create jobs and opportunities for people who live in our neighborhoods and communities. And that's why when I said to Dr. Bunley, it's about connecting. It makes no difference if we create programs and we don't provide the resources and connect people to the opportunity. I get sick and tired. I tell people I'm sick and tired of crime. And anybody who thinks that I'm not focused on crime is disingenuous, and I can tell them to their face, I am not scared. We're focused on reducing violence in this city. And so we have to do it together, but we have to connect people to the resources. You know, when people wouldn't come get jobs, I went out and raised $500,000 and created a mobile unit to go around to neighborhoods and communities to get people jobs. And then they said, well, but we need our records expunged, so we put lawyers on the buses so that we can help people get their records expunged. We've got to connect people to the resources. You know, we have to give people the strength to do what we made Baltimore City Community College free, not because we just wanted to be free, because we didn't want any parent to think that their child can't be successful. Every child doesn't need to go to college, every child doesn't want to go to college, but if you want to, you can get there. And this is the only city in the nation where you can get a 4-year college degree for free. Because if you finish Baltimore City Community College, then you can go to Coppin. Morgan State University has grants, and Johns Hopkins $1.9 billion for grants for those who can't afford. There's no excuse, you all. So we've got to connect, but the excuse is on the corner because they don't know, because we've not connected them. You know, selling drugs is not, it should not be an option, because we've got better options for people. And let me be real clear. Let me be real clear. I don't make policy. I have no arresting powers, okay? In 2014, we decriminalized marijuana in the state of Maryland. If you, for less than 10 ounces, you don't get arrested because it is a civil offense. We care about crime. We care about double the number of homicides of individuals who died on our streets from opioid addiction, from heroin addiction, and we're making their lives worse. But we want to make lives better. So this African American male engagement effort is about connecting people to resources, to making sure that they have what they need to be successful. It's about the future of these young people. We want their lives to be successful. We want them to be the doctors, the lawyers, whatever they think they want to be, the mechanics, the plumbers, whatever they desire to be. We want to be able to connect them to those opportunities. And so, Dr. Bunley, I am happy that we're at this point today. But we've got a long way to go, you all. And it depends on every single individual in here leaning in. You know, it's easy to stand on the sidelines and be critical. It's a lot harder to jump in and do the work. I'm about the work. And I know many of you in this room are about the work. So let's continue to work together. I am so proud to be here with you all today. I am even more proud of the success that will come out of this effort, because we all have leaned in and are willing to do the work. Thank you so much.
Before you move, this summer, in August, a few months after we had been in the office, we had a conference. It was the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement Conference, because we had to develop pathway partners. And Richard Rowe was out of town, and he was honored, but he had to be out of town to deal with a family matter. And so we had a plaque for him then, and I told him, don't worry about it. When we open up the center, right? When we open up our center, we want you to come and be a part, and we will honor you there. So, Richard Rowe, would you come up here, please? Sure. You can give him some love. I turned on the TV when I was about 16 years of age, and I forgot what the name of the show was, but I saw a black man on television. And he was talking, and he was articulate, and he was speaking truth to power, and he was talking about black men and boys. He has spent his life talking about black men and boys. And so if you don't think that individuals are looking at you, Ivan Forney, you're doing great work, but I just want you to know young people are looking at you, if you know it or not, right? And so, Richard, I thank you for giving me and others something and somebody to look at. I thank God that you stayed focused, that you weren't wayward and you weren't moving here and there, that you have had a steadfast focus on boys and men of color. And so we have this plaque for you, and it reads, at that time, before the mayor said, whittle it down to connect, it said, MOAAME, Mission 186, Connect. Partners Conference. Mr. Richard Rowe, with appreciation for your strength, guidance, and service that lights the path for others to follow across Baltimore City. The Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement. The Mayor of Baltimore City, Mayor Catherine E. Pugh. Brother, we just want to thank you and just share a few words with us. I just want you to know I love and respect you. I thank you for being a role model for me and others. Just thank you, brother. Let's give him a round of applause.
Mayor, thank you so much for all you do. Oh, okay. Get in the middle.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
And one day I'd love to hear Richard Rowe in a conversation around black on black crime and how we value life among African Americans and African American men especially.
Let's make it happen.
Did y'all hear that? Team, y'all heard that, right?
Now, I know you all, I don't have as much time as Madam Mayor. I wish I had a little bit more time, but let me just thank Andre. Dr. Bunley and I go way back. He always calls me his mentor, but sometimes in a good mentor-mentee relationship, it shifts.
Yes.
The mentee starts to learn, the mentor starts to learn more from the mentee than the mentor is learning from the mentor.
Say it ain't so.
Take some pictures of me, you all, because this is what saved me. See these books? Take as many pictures as you can and send me copies of the pictures, because again, hashtag, my middle name is Richard, read every book you can, Rowe. Young men, young women in this room, read every book by every author.
Yes, sir.
Don't be afraid of the written word. Let me just say that to you. And again, to all the young men and women in this room, 15 to 24, stand up. You already standing. Let's give them a round of applause. Because if we don't do for you all, if we don't do everything we can to save you all, it's not going to make any difference how many institutions we build. Let me quickly, because I know Andre is looking at me right now, but I wrote a book some time ago. The book is called Wanted Black Fathers Only Serious Black Men Need Apply. That's the name of the book. But look at what I wrote. And Andre doesn't even know this. He may know this, but listen to how I acknowledge. I said that to 5 black men and exceptional fathers that connected with me and held me up at the right time. David C. Miller, Dr. Andre Bunley, Mark Booker, Ray Davis, and W. Paul Coates, who made it possible, said it was possible, and who provided me with amazing, powerful, life-affirming examples of what is possible for black men, fathers that are serious, conscious, disciplined, and committed. Every male in this room, every father in this room, find 5 black men. Connect with 5 black men. Connect with some of these young brothers, because if it wasn't for him, he held me up at a time, and he and I used to meet up at one of the bookstores in the city. And he was filling me up with information, positive information about this center. And says, Richard, I need you. And so just between you all, anything that Brother Dr. Bunley, and again, if you watch this brother over the years, when we used to go to his school, Walbrook High School, you could walk through his school and knew that it was being led by a serious, principled black man who loved his children.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all didn't hear me. Who loved every single one of his children. Yes, and they what? Loved him.
Yes, indeed.
Can we as adults love every single one of our children in the city as Mayor Pugh? That's how it has to happen, you all. Every child in this room is my child. He or she may not know it, but that's how I roll. You see me, if I can do anything for you, you should simply walk up to me and say, Mr. Rowe, you promised me that you were my daddy. Or you promised me that I was somebody that you could basically talk to. I want every child in the city to feel that love that only we can give. And so again, just y'all take another picture of me now with the books before I sit down. And to the mayor, I don't want to sit down before I say this to the mayor, because the mayor, I mean, the mayor. We talk about, the mayor.
That's right.
Good and bad. But this sister is on a 24/7 journey. Y'all still didn't hear me. When I said a 24/7 journey, we should have all applauded. Because to have a center like this, every city doesn't have a center like this, that's being led by a strong man and basically being supported by a strong mayor. We've got to give her the support she deserves, because she's on a mission to bring crime down in this city, and that ain't easy. Because most of us, a lot of us have been conditioned to do harm to each other. And until we can switch and change that trajectory in terms of our mindset, very little can change. I don't care who is head of any police department, school system. If we don't basically change our thinking, it's going to be very difficult to do what? Change the environment and change what's going on in our community. So I don't, Mayor said she would love to see me come back and talk about a very, very critical issue about violence. I hope that we can make that happen, because I think, I have something to say about it. And I think I can basically offer a perspective that that is critical. But I believe, like some other of my mentors and some of our ancestors, a lot of what is happening too in our community is because of what's happening in the first school. In the first school is where you are? Home. We get home together, we can get our community together. And so, Brother Bunley, and to your entire staff, thank you all very, very much for your entire staff, because they've all reached out to me this week to make sure I got here on time at 7:15. All of them. And so you had all of them do what? Call Brother Rowe and make sure he's here at 7:15. And to those of you in this room that I have worked with, been around, that I can't mention your names because I don't have the time, know that I love you, respect you, honor you, celebrate you, and know that I appreciate you as well. Thank you all very much for this.
Folk,
I love this brother.
I want to again to thank you, and the mayor, Andrew, and I were together tonight. That's the deputy director of the mayor's office of African American Male Engaged. He's so humble. He's just out there. But we have a home assignment tonight, because this is one more group that we haven't touched, and that's that group that's in that slush, that have crossed the line. And we have a partner. We've moved 27 people out of Baltimore. Moved them out of Baltimore. They're living today. But they said, I got to get out of Baltimore. 27 of them with one of our partners. A lot of conversations we don't talk about. Those of you who know at a certain deep level, right? We don't talk about that. But that's the last group. This center is going to flourish. The Connect meetings are going to happen that we're getting ready to do down in the 21217. Our Speakers Bureau is going to flourish. All of those infrastructure pieces are in place. That last group are those groups, the individuals who have crossed the line. They crossed the line. Baltimore is only 92.2 square miles, 10 of which is the harbor. And I only know one that I believe that may walk on water. The other 82.2 square miles are right there on the land. And for those who have crossed the line, I don't know. Getting out of town it's got to be the best thing, right? But the rest of them, we can negotiate and we can mediate, we will. That's our last group. We have homework tonight. Andrew and I are going home to talk about the retreat factor and how we have to do it, because everything that we've done is based on science, human science. Everything that the mayor is very scientific. And I just want to say this before she leaves. She calls me downstairs in her meeting, and she hits my phone, and her assistant calls me down, and she just sits down and says, Andre, yes, ma'am, what's up? And what's up is, where are we with these males? We gotta connect to these males. And so I'm just so happy, because when you talk about connecting, I got Dedra. We got each other. Marcus, we're going to get together. Now that we're up here, we're going to get together with all of the business. We're going to be fine. We just got to put in that work. Love and respect you all. To the young people who were at there getting the food, Candace is back there. We'll put you back in the front of the line so you can eat. And we just thank you all for coming out and look forward to you supporting us as we continue to do this work.